Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Majors Live, episode 320 here on TMS Next Radio, themajors.net. I am Adam Hernandez. With me tonight is Dorf. Sean is vacationing up north, so he, couldn't be here tonight.
Excuses.
I
don't know. Pretty soon we're gonna have to go back to the whole joke about part-timer being part-time.
Caught a fish.
Caught a pretty whopper catfish.
Yeah, we both think it's Photoshop.
So we have a kind of where we do show prep and all that stuff like that. And we have like a Facebook Messenger group, and apparently we didn't find out till today that you can create polls within the group, and it's just the three of us. So Adam here created a poll today. Who believes Sean's picture of his catfish is photoshopped? We both voted yes.
And Sean didn't vote, so...
Yeah, he's like, you guys are assholes. It's not fake.
It's not fake news. Anyways, so welcome everybody to tonight's show. We're on at a special time tonight. We're on a little bit earlier. Not really taking the place of Motor City Uncut, but we are pushing Motor City Uncut back to next week. So
yeah, well, kind of did some show prep on that today and realized there's nothing to talk about because it's a dead zone in Detroit sports right now.
So
although it shouldn't be coming up here shortly because foosball starts again, and that's a never-ending topic of wonderment and amazement in the state of Michigan.
Very true. Yeah. When do we start? When did this start? Well, college football season.
Football starts today. Like, practice starts today.
Well, I'm talking about regular season.
Like 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Like, probably on a Thursday or something like that, 3 weeks from now?
Yeah. So, game day is going to be South Bend for Michigan Notre Dame. Should be a good one. Ohio State starts on September 1st, which obviously we're going to be getting to that in just a little bit. But we'll go ahead and get to our fan question tonight, which is who should vote in players for various sports Hall of Fames? I bring this up just because, obviously, last week, if you tuned into Motor City Uncut, Dorf, myself, and Sean were discussing the Jack Morris induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I have the very unpopular opinion that he is a stain on the Hall of Fame.
Yep, and if you go to Detroit.themajors.net, you could check out Dorf's.
That's actually on the national page.
It's on the national page as well. If you go to either themajors.net, Detroit.themajors.net, you will be able to find it there. Very, very good read. I think it's a very extremely reasonable, viewpoint that you have, Dorf, and I think that it's you back it up with stats.
It's math. It's a data-driven opinion.
Yeah, and
it's not conclusion. Find data to justify its data, and then come up with a conclusion.
And again, in all fairness, Dorf never saw Jack Morris play. I barely remember seeing Jack Morris play.
When did he retire?
Early 90s, I believe.
Okay. Well, I would have been, still in diapers or not alive yet.
The fact or the point of the story though is there's no feelings that are kept. There's no nostalgia that is kept with Dorf's opinion. It's not, harkening back to 84 or anything like that. Or the late 80s for the Tigers.
Yeah, he retired in 94.
Yeah.
So I would have been 3.
Yeah, it's none of that. It's just straight statistical based opinion that Dorf forms. And like I said, go check it out. Detroit.themajors.net, themajors.net. Give it a read, and it may very well change your opinion on the whole thing. So, but I also bring that up too. And again, we're going to be talking about this in a little bit later. Just because T.O. was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame over the weekend, and obviously he didn't go to the ceremony. He did it from Chattanooga, University of Tennessee, Chattanooga.
That's where he went, right?
Yeah, I believe so. And gave his speech there because he had, a beef with the Hall of Fame and obviously the NFL and the sports.
He didn't like how the media treated him during his playing career.
Yes, and we're going to get to that also because I think it coincides very, very well with what we talked about last week over on Motor City Uncut. So I want to hear what Dorf thinks about it. I'll give my opinion on it. So like I said, we'll get to that in just a little bit. But blow by blow tonight. First, I want to start off with Johnny Manziel. Dorf, I don't know if you saw Johnny Manziel begin his Canadian football career.
Just the highlight package.
Just the highlight
Or
package.
if you can call it that.
Yeah. Highlight package, low light package, whatever it is you want to call it.
Tape that you don't even watch and you just burn. Let's put it that way.
No, yeah, it was
If from the athlete's perspective, that's what you do with that tape.
His first drive, he threw an interception.
On the first pass.
First pass, was it?
Yeah, he had two out of his three passes were intercepted, if I remember correctly.
Oh wow!
And the middle one fell incomplete.
Yeah, because he had 4 on the night.
Yep.
4 interceptions on the night. I don't know what to think of this. Is this the end of Johnny Manziel and any sort of professional football?
Dude, this is Canadian football. A guy like Drew Willie, I don't know if you remember where he played his college ball, but I do, the University of Buffalo, who wasn't really all that good there. Although you could argue made now current Florida State head coach is Willie Taggart's career. He was his quarterback there at the University of Buffalo. Is like a perennial all-star Pro Bowler, or whatever you want to call it, the Canadian equivalent. Yeah. It's Canadian football, man.
It's probably all. I mean, there has to be.
Who knows?
Driven. Has to be ratings driven at this point.
Manziel?
With Johnny Manziel.
Oh, well, it's only one game.
Well, I mean.
Now, if they throw him back out there, now who does he play for now? Because I know he got traded. Is it Montreal
Alouettes?
Alouettes.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if the Alouettes are any good. I have no idea whatsoever.
You don't know if the Alouettes are any good?
Dude, I don't pay attention to that shit. If they are bad, and he continues to stay out there, that's a different story. You know that. Oh, we're just trying to put butts in seats. It's the Tim Tebow minor league baseball argument. He's just there. He's just there to be the sideshow. Now, if they're good and he continues to play, that's pretty sad because then they must not have anybody else. Didn't they trade their incumbent starter for him?
I know they traded with the Hamilton Tiger Cats for Johnny Manziel. I have no idea if they traded their incumbent starter. Or
who did? You know what? I'm gonna do this research. Get back to me on this. I'm gonna figure out who he unseated for that job.
For the Alouettes job?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess looking at this from somewhat of an NFL perspective, I mean, Alouettes, I'm assuming, is a big market.
Oh, okay. So the backup quarterback there is former Oregon and Washington State quarterback Vernon Adams.
Where?
Quote, I should be a first-round pick, doesn't get drafted or signed in camp. I'm the best quarterback out there.
Where? Hamilton he was quarterback or Montreal?
Montreal.
Okay.
Also home for former Spartan B.J. Cunningham. Come to find out.
So, B.J. Cunningham's in Montreal?
Yes.
Because didn't he go to Miami to start his NFL career?
Yes, and I think he also made appearances with the Jets.
Okay. He wasn't a bad wide receiver for...
He holds a bunch of school records still.
Yeah. Huh. Anyways, Johnny Manziel, though, piss poor start to his CFL career. Who knows what's going to happen beyond that? Anyways, though, moving right along, LeBron James versus Donald Trump. Donald Trump taking shots at LeBron James on Twitter over the weekend. Actually, I believe it was Friday night. What?
The starting quarterback for the team I was just making fun of, Drew Willie, before the trade.
Anyways.
Sorry, that was fun.
No, it's fine. LeBron James versus Donald Trump. Donald Trump taking shots at LeBron James. I believe it was late Friday night. Basically saying that LeBron James is stupid. Caused a big uproar amongst basically everybody. I don't hear anybody taking Donald Trump's side over this unless you are part of the Make America Great Again cult. But LeBron James obviously opening up the I Promise School over in Akron. Kids are going to get a free bike, free helmet. There's going to be...
It's like free transportation within a couple miles of the campus.
Yeah.
If they succeed in everything, they get free tuition to Akron.
Mm-hmm.
On Bron.
There's going to be food banks there. There's going to be job placement
for parents.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's a good deal. It's definitely a good deal. It's something you like to see amongst a bunch of what?
It's a man who's made at least $1 billion, and probably at least $1 billion in his lifetime. I know his Nike endorsement deal is a lifetime contract worth $1 billion. On top of his other endorsements, like isn't he even sponsored by like McDonald's too?
He might be.
think he is.
He's a Sprite.
Sprite for sure. On top of his millions from playing, that's a man that you're proud to say has invested, not just superficially into a community, but is directly going to change the lives of, hundreds, if not thousands of youngsters from his old stomping grounds.
Yeah. And this is something, and you look at the other side of things here too. When I don't know, it's just Donald Trump not being able to let anything go. It's.
Dude, I don't know. I honestly don't know what this. Oh, he didn't sing his praises on Don Lemon. At the same time, if you look back at just the El Presidente's Twitter history, he's got no less than like 3 tweets praising LeBron for being smart and good at basketball.
Yeah.
I get it. It's a classic Trumpian flip flop or whatever you want to call it. But what are you doing? He didn't vote for you. He doesn't like you. You don't gain anything by attacking LeBron.
Well, the thing is, too, Dorf, it's not like LeBron did an interview with Don Lemon, and without any
declared his intention to run for president for the Democratic Party opposite of Donald. It's not like he was going to be his next election opponent.
But it's not even like he went on there and just outright attacked Donald Trump. He was asked his opinion about Donald Trump, and he gave it. And when LeBron is opening up this school for the kids in Akron there, it's the wrong time, especially right then and there, to start taking shots, especially given Donald Trump's history.
Oh, he's with LeBron James is let's call it politically bulletproof for a long, at least the rest of the NBA offseason. Because of the whole opening the school thing. He's politically bulletproof.
Yep.
Why the hell would you start taking shots at him? If anything, you should be, we have our political differences, LeBron, but congratulations. Thanks for doing a great thing for your community.
Yeah.
And you know what? No one can get mad at you for saying that.
No.
You win so many brownie points. No one get mad at you.
Nope, not at all. And I don't know. Is he jealous because
this is exhausting?
Is he jealous because Trump University, instead of sitting there paying tuition for a bunch of kids, Donald Trump had to pay $25 million in restitution because Trump University was a huge fraud?
That like a how to invest in real estate scam?
Yeah.
Oh man, like the ones that you hear infomercials on the radio for all the time too.
Yeah, and it wasn't a brick and mortar school. It was just
it was like teleseminars or whatever.
Yeah, it was
right?
like an online something like that. Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyways, what's up next here?
I think Donald Trump at post-president should make the Donald Trump School for kids who can't read good.
What is this, a school for ants?
Or the Trumpian school of social media.
Oh God!
How not to guide for politicians in the social media era. I can't wait for the guy I know is publicly known. I forget his name. The guy that's supposedly the White House director of social media or whatever. Can't wait for his book post administration.
Who is that? Is that Dan Schiavano or something? Is that it?
That sounds right, but I don't remember.
I think that's might have been.
That's going to be a great book.
Oh, there's gonna be.
Hi, I'm the guy who's I really know what I'm doing, but my boss doesn't listen, and now we have the most fantabulous case study on how to use the internets.
Oh, there's going to be plenty of great books that come.
Oh yeah,
from that,
absolutely, from just the administration period.
Yeah. Yeah, you thought George W.
Donald Trump and his Diet Coke addiction. White House blows entire monthly dining budget on on semi-truckload of 12-ounce cans of Diet Coke.
Hey.
Crushes White House parking or driveway crushed by weight of semi-truck delivering Diet Coke.
Do they have deposits in
DC? I have no idea. Hell, he might be able to pay down the national debt.
Yeah.
Just by redeeming.
By bringing cans back.
That's not how that works. I know, but it's a deposit that you get back, but come on, it's funny.
Mike Scioscia, looks like the Mike Scioscia era may be coming to an end with the Angels. Ken Rosenthal broke, I think it was Saturday night, that Mike Scioscia would be stepping down at the end of the season. Mike Scioscia came out after that and called it "quote unquote" poppycock. Bob Nightingale, I believe it was Bob Nightingale, actually
Is
came
he
out.
still at USA Today?
Yes.
Okay.
Came out after that and basically said that Mike Scioscia, we cracked the code. We know you're leaving. You're just pissed that we figured it out. I mean, would anybody really be surprised if Mike Scioscia was leaving at this point? The Angels haven't made the playoffs since 2014.
I think kind of his star has kind of fallen too.
Absolutely,
quite honestly, because you know what? He's not a sabermetrics guy. He's not. He was the old-fashioned aggressive gambler. Yes, Joe Madden is a disciple of his, but Joe Madden took Mike Scioscia's philosophy and added math to it. And now you get the Cubs.
Yeah, and the Rays,
also too. Yeah,
when they were good. For
the Cubs are just the Rays of the budget.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know what kind of place he's going to have in the modern game without I just don't know. Maybe it involves in the front office. Hey, maybe he's made bazillions of dollars and is just done. It could be, but at the same time, I can't really be upset at Mike Scioscia. You've always been provided plenty enough talent on the offensive side.
Nothing.
But your team blows at drafting pitchers.
Yeah.
You can't get anybody to. I mean, you've dumped truckloads of money at the pitching problem, and you've never been able to do anything. Your team just sucks at developing pitching talent.
God, I remember they just,
which is not your job as a big league manager.
What did they do? They spent a ton of prospects on getting Houston Street.
He was good for him until the last year when he was just his arm was done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I mean, like I said, you can't.
He can't develop. The organization is. I mean, honestly, if anybody that should definitely go with him, it's all the farm and scouting directors. You guys can't find pitching talent or develop it.
No,
it's great. Oh, and the ones that you do, their elbows all blow up. Well, actually, and then there's Garrett Richards. Well, his shoulder too. His elbow's bad as well, but.
Jared Weaver.
You got a good long run out of Jared Weaver. You got your money's worth out of him for a long time.
Yeah.
But then, Jared Weaver in the final 2 years of his career hucking 83 up there. Oh, 83, with that 78 mile an hour changeup. Really able to get big league hitters out.
And finally, Kelvin Benjamin blasting the Carolina Panthers. Basically come out and saying that he should have never been drafted by the Carolina Panthers. Basically said he would be better as a pro if he didn't play with Cam Newton. Basically didn't call him a smart QB. I don't know. What do you think?
Thanks, Kelvin Benjamin, for confirming everything I already thought about Cam Newton.
That he's stupid?
He's not a good quarterback. Good athlete, not good football player.
Why is that?
When has Cam Newton ever led you back from behind? Passed you back into a game? Waiting. I know you may not be able to directly recall the answer, but it's not often.
Didn't he wait? He didn't win the MVP at all, did he?
I'm not sure.
Because I think in 2015 he either won it or he came close, and that was the year that Kelvin Benjamin was out for the entire season. So maybe they just didn't work well together.
2015 season, so the 15 season he was MVP. Yes.
Okay. So I don't know. I mean, there's some talent there with Cam Newton.
Is he a top 30 quarterback in all of the world? Absolutely. Is he as good as everybody thinks he is? Nope.
He gets his ass kicked too.
Since he's been told to stop running, his average yards per attempt is under 7. For an NFL quarterback, that's fucking pathetic. His completion percentage is down. His interception rate is up. Like, I'm going to tell you, he's not good. Not that good.
All right. Moving right along, we've got bitches and badasses. You ready, Dorf?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
All right, so I've got a dual badass this week. It's actually going to be Brett McMurphy, unemployed college football reporter who broke the lid off the Ohio State story on his own personal Facebook page, by the way. Good for him for keeping up the good work, even though he's not getting paid for it still. Also, Terrell Owens I agree that you're kind of a crackpot, but at the same time, I don't think you got a fair shake as well from the media during your playing days. And you don't need to play in their circus. You're your own man. If you don't want to go, don't go to the Hall of Fame ceremony. Do what you did. Good on you.
All right, my badass this week is going to be LeBron James for everything that we discussed, earlier, opening the I Promise school, investing, shit ton of money into it. That's something that you like to see out of, professional athletes, especially people.
Or those with money. Period.
Yeah. Yep, those in LeBron's position, those with money, period. You'd like to see them. You'd like to see them give back to their community, and that's certainly what LeBron James is doing here.
Yeah, find me someone who's ever gotten richer off opening a school. yeah, exactly.
Anyways, our bitches this week. Go ahead, Dorf.
All right, mine is going to be U.S. Sports Hall of Fames.
All right.
The selection process for the Major League Baseball one has jumped the shark. That's a whole nother show we could do another day, which we kind of hit it on. And at the same time, the NFL one for me as well, I'm kind of over it. Basketball's always been a joke. And, I don't know enough about hockey or the Hall of Fame and its process to have an informed opinion, so I will keep my mouth shut about that one.
For me, it's going to be Johnny Manziel again. 4 interceptions in his CFL debut with the Montreal Alouettes. Not good. Not good. It's probably going to go down as one of the worst debuts in, I'm assuming, CFL history. Maybe all the sports. Guy coming in, large microscope.
Let's call 538 and have him put together some sort of power rank, cross sport power rank his worst debuts.
Yeah, worst debut. Johnny Manziel has to be up there. Lots of fanfare, lots of hype. Him coming into the CFL.
So we're gonna have to develop some statistic here for hype factor or whatever you want to call it. How much hype a debut gets versus how bad it actually ends up being. Because if somebody, say you call some kid up from A-ball or something like that to be a starting pitcher and he gets bombed in his debut, but there was no hype for it, do you really have to? Does that really qualify for worst debuts? Because no one expected anything.
Well, I think it's going to have to be weighted because we're talking about.
Oh yeah, it's a multi-variable analysis here.
Well, can it be like, because we're talking about ERA plus? Can you kind of do something like that?
There's not really a subjective component to like ERA plus and OPS plus. It's all it's pure percentage above.
Is OPS plus start? What is that? What is the
also the 100 is the base?
That's 100 for the base.
Yeah, 100 is base. Any deviation up or down.
So it's the same. It's the same thing.
Same concept. It's interpreted the same way.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there has. You know what that? Not it's, but the number's only good for one start, obviously.
Yeah.
If you're looking, if we're going to employ Nate Silver to come up with a stat.
Yo, Nate, put your math whizzes on this. Come up with some metric or power ranking scale of worst sports debuts ever. I expect it by 5:00.
Was it him that we were talking about the goose egg? Was it Nate Silver that was coming up with that?
I might have been Nate. It might have been somebody on his staff, but it was definitely 538.
Yeah, it's 538. God,
the goose.
Yeah,
the goose stat.
Yep. God, I wish they would do
the fireman or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I hope they still do that. Well, baseball.
I'm sure somebody does keep track of it, but because I saw it referenced on some sort of sabermetric based baseball blog the other day. Oh, so and so's in for a goose save.
Okay, how does Fangraphs keep track of all that stuff? Is anybody out there that looks at Fangraphs?
EDI entry, so they have a partnership with Major League Baseball where they like all the Statcast data and stuff like that. They have an EDI, so they have to sit there and punch numbers in.
Just like an algorithm.
It's just the MLB servers communicate with their servers, and they just use that data to make.
It just updates automatically.
Yeah, it does it itself.
Because that'd be a shitty fucking job sitting there being that guy to go.
I believe EDI stands for Electronic Data Interface.
Actually, you'd be good at that.
What? Data entry?
Yeah, because you're good at the
Electronic Data Interchange. Sorry.
You're good at spreadsheets and everything.
Professional. I mean, at one point it was my Twitter bio was king of the spreadsheets.
Dorf sitting in some broom closet updating the fan.
Typing fiercely. I don't have a number pad. This is.
Using some shitty netbook or something.
Oh no, I'm out of RAM.
Using a netbook with one of those old ball mouses.
The little knob.
Yeah.
You played with or whatever. I think it might have technically been called a nipple, but just to turn. I overshot it. Gotta come back. Click. Load. It froze. Damn it.
These are gonna be done by midnight.
My boss is gonna kill me.
Make the most out of your off seasons, though.
Get carpal tunnel in 2 weeks.
Anyways, our big story tonight, though, obviously everything that's going on with Ohio State right now. Urban Meyer, Zach Smith, Courtney Smith. A little backstory. Obviously, I think everybody's pretty much heard of it by now. But Brett McMurphy broke something. Was it late last week? Right.
The football gods have come to spite us. By the way, with that thunder right
it's storming here in Plymouth, Michigan, right now.
That was a pretty long rolling thunderclap, like directly overhead.
Yeah, if we go off the air here, you would know it's probably because of
we died.
Yeah, we died. Power went out. One of the two. But Brett McMurphy broke late last week, I believe, on his Facebook page, as Dorf said earlier, about Zach Smith, former wide receivers coach with Ohio State University. It was revealed that he allegedly not only beat his wife, but beat the shit out of his wife. There are pictures posted, I believe, that Brett McMurphy got via text message from Courtney Smith herself. Mm-hmm. Just bruises, red marks all over her. And apparently this happened, there's two big incidents that happened in 2009 and 2015. And like I said, Brett McMurphy broke this. There were text messages involved between various wives of the coaches at Ohio State. One of those wives was Shelley Meyer, wife of Urban Meyer, where they were conversing back and forth with each other. They were talking about Zach Smith and how he beats her and so on and so forth. Urban Meyer, during Big Ten Media Days, was asked about this, denied knowing about it. This was obviously before Brett McMurphy's report. Over the weekend, Urban Meyer released a statement saying that he did in fact know about it, but he followed, and I quote, proper protocol and procedure, unquote. Now, I believe before Urban Meyer released that statement that people could pretty much assume, and I'm talking about reasonably thinking people, where you're not influenced by your bias for Ohio State University, whether or not you're a Michigan fan or an Ohio State fan or whatever, Penn State, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and so on and so forth. That if Urban Meyer's wife knew about it, you know for sure that Urban Meyer would know about it as well. I know my wife, if she found something out like that, she would probably be telling me the next phone call that she makes. Without a doubt. Now again here, there is an investigation that is being put forth by Ohio State and some independent entities. It came out, I believe it was last night, saying that they were going to try to come to a conclusion with this within 14 days. Retroactive last night. So 14 days from Sunday night. Mm-hmm. That puts you, I believe, less than 2 weeks away from the start of Ohio State's opener against Oregon State. Regular season opener. Now, there's a bunch of different questions that come about with this. Obviously, if Urban Meyer knew, he knew back in 2015, and Zach Smith was able to stay on the job for 2+ years. There is possible Title IX violations that come with this, because we are talking about employees with Ohio State. If it does indeed come up to be a Title IX violation, then we're talking loss of federal funding in some part for Ohio State University. There's also a couple of other questions that come with this. First and foremost, is Urban Meyer obligated to tell the media the truth when it comes to Big Ten Media Days? He didn't. He said he had no knowledge of this, and he moved on. There's going to be a bigger topic that we're going to get to this in this segment, but Dorf,
I want
like
to.
say something.
So, are we talking legal obligation to be truthful in media? Ethical,
Just
moral? What are we talking?
Moral, ethical obligation here.
Moral, yes. Ethical, yes. I mean, moral is debatable. Ethical, for sure. Legally, no.
No, he doesn't have a legal obligation to.
Especially when comes time to CYA covering his ass. Of just from like his statement about the fact after the fact, very very much lawyered per se, was all about protecting himself from being fired with cause. Because if he's fired with cause, Ohio State doesn't owe him another dime. If Ohio State fires him without cause, they owe him every last cent of his current contract. It is not a breach of his contract based on what's publicly available, which is all of it, because he's technically a public employee. Mm-hmm. To have to be, it's not against his contract to be able to lie. He's not in trouble for lying to the media because of his contract.
No.
If Ohio State were to fire him for, media doesn't trust you, we can't trust, you've broken our bond with the public or something like that. That would not be for cause. You cannot twist that into a for cause firing. They don't have every cent.
No, I agree with you, Dorf. I think that Urban Meyer has no obligation to tell the media the truth.
But at the same time, for this story specifically, does Urban Meyer have the obligation to jump up on the podium and without being questioned about it, say, "Oh yeah, by the way, I knew, and I'm a scumbag, whatever." Let's move on. But if asked, I would, honestly, his best play at Big Ten Media Days, no comment. I'm here to talk about my upcoming football season. We'll address that at a different time.
And that's what I was just going to say, Dorf. This is a guy...
He must have been caught entirely with his pants down.
And again, I am talking from a moral standpoint here because that's the persona that Urban Meyer wants to project himself. This is a guy who led Bible study with Tim Tebow in Florida. This is a guy who, has signs in the Ohio State locker room talking about respecting women. The very, very least that you can do, like Dorf said, you have no obligation to tell the media the truth. And I agree with that. From
a legal perspective.
From a legal perspective.
From a moral and ethical perspective, you should.
You should. But the very, very least that you can do in this, Dorf, and you said it, I have no comment on the situation. I'm here to talk about the upcoming football season.
We will hold media availability to discuss that at a further date.
Yep.
In time to be announced.
Yep. Because you know what? You don't put yourself in that position now where you're having to sit here and backtrack on a lie you just told less than a week prior.
Well, and here's another thing. Joe Paterno was proven to not have plausible deniability.
I mean, she's still
Art Briles and Baylor was proven to not have plausible deniability. Mm-hmm. Urban Meyer has not had let's call it the veil of plausible deniability pierced yet. So far, what has been presented to the public is a text message from Smith to Urban's wife. Urban's wife asking about her. That doesn't mean necessarily that Urban knows.
And that's the thing, Dorf.
Let's just talk it from a black and white legal perspective. That isn't proof that Urban knows.
That's true. And you know what? If he does now,
if that veil is pierced, fuck him. Let's have a witch hunt.
First of all, I will say this. I will preface that even if Urban Meyer said that he didn't know, I would call bullshit on it. I would say, of course you knew.
Okay, well,
however,
we can have that debate. But
yes,
from a verifiable proof perspective, that hasn't happened yet.
But Dorf, that's what I was going to say. Is that Ohio State can fire him for that. we think that what you're saying is bullshit.
You could then arguably fire him for cause.
You could fire him for cause, but what Urban Meyer is going to do is he's going to end up taking Ohio State to court, and
I'm sure there'll be some sort of settlement.
And there will be some sort of settlement because no concrete proof can be proven that Urban Meyer knew
termination.
Yes, that Shelley Meyer did in fact tell Urban Meyer that.
Oh, by the way, this has been happening.
Yes. Oh, by the way, this is happening. Exactly. I'm going to bring something else up here too, because like I remember what I said, Dorf, there were two incidents that are being talked about. There's a 2015 incident.
And there was one back from when they were together at Florida.
There was one in 2009. Yes.
Okay.
Boston College head coach
Steve
Adazio came out and said over the weekend that he knew about the incident in 2009 when he was a staffer.
He's the old line coach in 2009.
Under Urban Meyer. This is, again, something that is... Look, I'm under firm belief that if one coach knows about it...
They all do.
All coaches know about it. Just like at Penn State. Mike McQuarrie knew about it. Joe Paterno knew about it. And if Steve Adazio knew about it, Urban Meyer knew about it. Now, this is how bad it is here. This is the way I'm looking at it, Dorf. Urban Meyer knew about it then. Zach Smith was with him then.
Yep.
Urban Meyer didn't fire him. Left Florida. Took his time off. Hired him back at Ohio State when he got the job there. And kept him on all that time. All that time. Until, what, 2 weeks ago?
Sure.
When he finally got fired?
I believe there's 3, whatever.
Yes.
Recent past.
Yes. So you have, I mean, it's my belief, and again, no proof of this yet, but it is my belief that Urban Meyer had working knowledge, not just in 2015, but in 2009 as well, and brought him up north with him to Columbus.
Okay.
Again, can't be proven, my own personal opinion, based on what I think is some possible circumstantial evidence here. Go ahead, Dorf.
So, kind of moving on to your next bullet point here. Gene Smith, the athletic director, what about his knowledge of the situation?
Because Zach Smith said that Gene Smith knew about it.
Yes, he did.
Go ahead.
Yes, he did. To that point, you know who's Zach Smith's grandpa?
Who's that?
Well, legendary Ohio State head coach Earl Bruce.
Oh, wow.
Is that familial relationship, did that make him bulletproof at Ohio State?
Zach Smith?
Yeah. Did that make him bulletproof? Did that make him unfireable?
To a point where...
Did that allow this... So if what Urban said is true, he did follow the proper channels. He notified the Title IX office. Did they choose to do nothing about it because of... Now, I believe Earl Bruce is actually deceased. Yes, he is. Did that sort of power that the Bruce family may still hold at the university? I have no idea what the relationship is. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Just speculating. But usually ones who's that successful still holds power at the university well after they're gone. That's just how major universities work. Did that sort of familial relationship make him bulletproof? Can't prove it. But honestly, if it comes out and there's a paper trail that Urban did what he was supposed to and maybe even suggested I'd like to terminate him. Oh, no, you're not allowed to. Political shitstorm. A bunch of donations might go away. He's doing a good job Zach Smith was doing a good job as a football coach.
Mm-hmm.
He put a lot of receivers in the league. They won a lot of games when he was there.
Doing a shitty job as a human being, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's not to say it wasn't a shitty human being.
No, I'm just
nobody knows about this. We don't want to upset the apple cart. Leave it alone. If that paper trail is generated or was generated and does come out, what happens?
Well, first of all, Gene Smith would have to go.
Oh yeah. I mean, I fully acknowledge I have my Alex Jones tinfoil hat firmly on with this one. But
no, I think that's a good point, Dorf, and I'm glad you brought that up because obviously there's a lot of people out here, and today there's pictures posted about Urban
You're gonna
Meyer.
get so much shit if this episode ever ends up in the hands of Ohio State fans based on the shirt you're wearing right now.
Well, it just says the majors.
Yeah, but the color scheme.
Oh, jeez. Am I a Michigan fan, Dorf?
No, you're not.
Thank you.
You wouldn't mind if the big house burned down when no one was in it.
Dorf is a Michigan State fan.
Yes, I am.
But you are being very objectable tonight. Very reasonable.
Thank you.
It may be more so because your team has had much more success over Ohio State than Michigan.
No,
so it's a little bit easier.
One thing, if hell, put this on my gravestone in the future. Believes wholeheartedly in due process. that would be me. Innocent till proven guilty. Due process. Yeah.
And no, I don't want anything to happen to the big house.
No, that was a joke.
I think the big house is a fine.
The quietest 110,000 people you ever get together.
Big house is a very nice place.
Hey, if you want to see some real noise, honestly, go to the Shoe. Go to Camp Randall. That's real noise.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's real noise.
You don't hear it at Michigan State, that's for sure too.
Not right now. They struggle to keep the student section there after halftime.
But what else were we gonna say here? No, but like I said, it's a good point to bring up, Dorf, just because who knows? College football is a shoddy business.
Oh, big time college sports is shady as hell.
It's horrible.
It might as well be run by the freaking mob.
Yeah, it's a horrible it's a horrible organization. I say it's right below FIFA.
Yeah.
In terms of it, how slimy it is. My problem with that theory, Dorf, is the here and now when it comes to Ohio State football. Urban Meyer is the here and now. If Urban Meyer was a well-known college coach that hasn't had the success that he has had there, I could certainly see something like that happening, where Gene Smith or whoever is telling him to be quiet, don't say anything. We'll take it from here. It's my belief, though, and this is kind of going on with.
At the same time, everybody who's dropped the line that Urban Meyer was the sole deciding factor in whether or not Zach Smith was employed by the Ohio State University isn't 100% right. If you're going to fire somebody, now he could probably have the 100% control over choosing not to renew a contract.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to firing somebody for cause, there's lawyers involved. There's university administration involved. That's not entirely up to him.
Sure, but this doesn't eliminate.
If he did his part in the process to try and get that ball rolling, but the other half or third or whatever you want to call it wasn't done or was not approved by somebody else, it's never going to be enough to satisfy the mob. But at the same time, I don't think if that's the case, I don't think Urban Meyer should be a ding on his record at all. If the paper trail is there that he did what he was supposed to and tried to get that process rolling and it didn't happen, I'm sorry, that's not your fault.
I think that we're getting at the point right now when it comes to these college coaches where I guess I'm tired of seeing the bare minimum done.
Okay.
And again, we're going to see what else comes out about this. This by no means is done. Ohio State said they're going to rectify this in 14 days, and let's see what happens with it. Urban Meyer could very well be fired in less than 14 days from now. What I'm saying is we've seen too many times where college coaches have done the bare fucking minimum when it comes to reporting this stuff. When it comes to using your authority at a said school to handle a situation. And we know that these college coaches have a lot more pull than just any other public employee.
Oh, I mean, just look at Ann Arbor. Jim Harbaugh runs that university.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh runs it with John Beeline coming up second.
A distant second.
Yeah, distant second, but coming up second. At Michigan State,
Mark D'Antonio,
Tom Izzo, Mark D'Antonio. I'd say Tom Izzo probably first still.
Slightly
but
more, yeah.
Yeah, then
It's a little more close to an equal relationship between D'Antonio and Izzo versus
Yep.
Harbaugh and Beeline.
Yep.
Even though that Beeline has had infinitely more success at the university.
And you could go on. You can go on. Nick Saban. You think Nick Saban is probably the most powerful?
He's practically governor of Alabama.
I mean, do you think Nick Saban, is?
Hey man, if we want to go down to that relationship with power in that state's about to crumble. Quarterback controversy with both sides of families throwing shots at each other in the media.
Oh, geez, in Alabama too.
Lovely.
That's not good.
Yeah.
And it goes on. Like I said, I'm tired of seeing the bare minimum done when it comes to these sort of things. And if Urban Meyer did more than this, then you know what? God bless him.
Let the paper trail show it.
Let the paper trail show it. If he didn't, he's just another one of those college coaches that just did the bare minimum to
I want to
come out and say that, I did follow proper procedure and protocol, and you handed it off to the next person. Because
I want to defend college coaches as a profession.
Go ahead.
Just a little bit here.
Go ahead.
You're the CEO of a large money-making organization.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing you want to invite into your camp is controversy. That not only affects your immediate future, that affects your personal employment status, that affects your ability to win, it affects your ability to get future employment if you want a step up to a better job. It affects your ability to get raises. It affects your ability to attract talent. Controversy does all that to you. If you're going to do something like this I'm going to put my football coach hat on here. If all it matters, it's so high stakes. It's so cutthroat. All that matters is winning. The last thing I want is to voluntarily invite controversy. All the incentives are to look the other way or cover shit up because there's so much to lose and nothing to gain by getting out in front of this kind of thing. Whether it's UNC football players this week getting 12 of them suspended for selling their Jordans, that the team issued Jordans. Or this, or the Joe Pot thing was kind of as he was on the way out, but Art Briles at Baylor, anything like that. There is absolutely nothing to gain professionally from the perspective of a head coach or even an athletic director to try and get out in front of this stuff. Now, in politics, everything to gain by getting out in front of stuff. In business, you could argue, we could have the conversation that's a lot more situationally dependent, whether or not it's better or not to get out in front of something. Because most of the time in business, your customers don't care, and you can just cover your ears and pretend like nothing happened, and it will go away. Assuming you don't work in media, it will go away.
Mm-hmm.
So, from a football coach's perspective, you have everything to lose. Can I blame somebody for making that? It's a rational, selfish decision. Doesn't make it right, but it is the rational, self-interested decision to do nothing. Look the other way. Cover it up. I don't know that as a human being, I can say that in their position with everything that I would have and everything I would have to lose, that I wouldn't highly, highly consider, and if not ultimately select, doing the same thing. Especially in this exact case. Zach Smith has put a ton of talent in his position in the league. Let's think about it. Michael Thomas. I mean, how many guys has he had drafted in the last 5 years at Ohio State? Shit tons. Guys that end up flaming out because they're really not that good, but he made them look good.
I think there's...
I can't... As a human being, I understand that we are all irrational actors. We try to be rational, but we're not, ultimately. I can't say, and we're all flawed, I can't say in the same position that I wouldn't do the same thing. I can't.
I think that there's a big difference between somebody selling their Jordans And
no, but at the same, from Urban Meyer's perspective, if he did the bare minimum, which is just reported to Title IX, told Gene Smith maybe, whatever the university specific protocol is, it is a legal requirement to notify the Title IX office. Like you could get, I don't know what the penalty is for failure to do it, but you can definitely get fired. I doubt you can get thrown in jail, but it's against the law to not report that to the Title IX office.
Mm-hmm.
He covered his ass.
But we don't know. We don't know that he did or not. We'll have to wait and see.
He says he has. So assuming that's correct, which all we can really do at this point is assume about all of this, pretty much. You know, I don't want to say Brett McMurphy's faking all this, but text messages are pretty easy to fake. I don't know. If everything is the way it's been portrayed to be, I can't say if I'm Urban Meyer I don't do the same thing. I did the bare minimum to keep me out of legal trouble.
You see,
and the bare minimum to keep me out of being fired for cause. Why would I invite controversy beyond that?
See, I agree with you to some extent, Dorf. But
by all means, do not mistake any of my comments here the last couple minutes for saying it's right or it's moral. I'm just saying from a human perspective. Assuming Urban Meyer did what he said he did, do you blame him for not doing anything else? I can't say that I wouldn't do the same thing.
See, I have to disagree on that point. I think that you have an obligation, especially given the persona that Urban Meyer gives us.
No, your obligation. Let's be real. Your obligation to yourself is to maximize your income. Your obligation to the university is win fucking football games.
You don't think that Urban Meyer can replace Zach Smith with somebody else and
I'm sure, but is it worth the controversy? Is it worth the distraction?
Is it
worth the damage to your personal rep? Even though say,
but you
say
see, Dorf, that's the
problem.
That's the problem, Dorf. Is college coaches assume
it's just win, baby, win, man.
College coaches assume that this isn't going to get out. They assume that, and it does. Why, if you're looking at it strictly from that standpoint,
back to my earlier point.
But if you're looking at it strictly,
not worth getting out in front of.
If you're looking at strictly from that standpoint. At that point, it is worth getting out in front of because then you don't have this media storm coming on afterwards.
Oh, okay, all right.
Being caught, you being caught in a lie, and then you saying that
at end of last year, end of the 2015 season, Ohio State chooses not to renew the contract of wide receivers coach Zach Smith. Well, he just sent like 5 guys in the last 5 years to the league. Well, why didn't you renew his contract?
Okay, but you know what?
Bet your ass the same information gets out.
You know what the problem though is, Dorf, with this specific Urban Meyer thing.
Why didn't you fire him right away? Why did you wait till his contract?
Well, hold on. I'm not going to talk about the Urban Meyer. I'm not going to talk about the Art Briles thing. I'm not talking about what happened in Michigan State. I'm not talking about what happened at Penn State. The source of all of this is, and I said it at the top of this segment, Urban Meyer chose to bring this guy along with him.
True.
He chose to bring him along with him, and I think that may be a damning aspect to this whole thing.
Fair.
If Steve Addazio says if what he says is true, I think that may not be getting enough play here, but that could be the dagger in all of this. Because if they're talking with Steve Addazio, if they're talking to a lot of his former assistants, that could be the end of Urban Meyer at Ohio State.
That'll be the end of Urban Meyer, the football coach.
Yeah.
And Urban Meyer, the commentator. He was pretty good at that.
All of a sudden, he's going to have to sit here and coach football in Italy along with Art Briles.
Is that where he's at?
Yeah.
Well, June Jones tried to hire him in the CFL, and there was a shitstorm, and he got failed. They didn't let the ink dry on the contract and tore it up.
Oh, jeez.
No, June Jones tried to hire him as his OC.
Wow.
I forget where June Jones coaches in the CFL at, but
no, there's only 6 teams.
That was 8.
I could name them all off if you want.
Go ahead. No, don't bother.
Toronto Argonauts, Montreal Alouettes, Hamilton Tiger Cats, Ottawa Black Reds, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Edmonton Eskimos, Calgary Stampeders, BC Lions. So is that 8?
Where's the Rough Riders? Are they not a thing
Rough
anymore?
Riders aren't around anymore.
Okay. Because at one point there was 2 Rough Riders. One had a space and the other didn't between the names. They may not be around anymore.
Is there a Saskatchewan team? I think there might be a Saskatchewan.
Yeah, it was the Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
It might be the Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
God, this is such a bad tangent.
Is it the Saskatchewan Roughriders? I think it is.
Yep.
They used to have teams in the United States too.
There's 10. No, there's only 9 teams. Saskatchewan Roughriders is the only one you forgot.
Yep. So I get some points there.
E for effort.
Edmonton Eskimos.
Is that like Washington Redskins?
It might be
Is it-
their version,
Yeah.
except they don't have the racist logo too.
Dude, I don't know what their logo looks like. So
It's just an E and an E.
no, all right.
They have Green Bay Packers colors.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
Lame.
I think who played for the Lions? What was that quarterback? Was it Dante Culpepper? I think he actually played for the BC Lions at one point after his NFL career. Anyway, well, one more thing on this too, Dorf. Do you think precedent was set in this with the whole Jim Tressel thing? I know that was something that was brought up with Yahoo.
He was fired for less,
He certainly was.
but he was the classic, cover up was worse than crime.
Is that one you get out in front of? See, now for me, I think that's more justifiable covering something like that up as opposed to something like this. But you know what?
Well, here's the deal. I'm going to say no. It's black and white. It's all better. It's none of it is.
I was going to say, though, in all fairness, when Jim Tressel got fired, there's a much different landscape to college football and scandal than
you
what
weren't
we have
in
now.
the quote Me Too era.
It wasn't the Me Too era, also was pre-Penn State era, too.
True.
So,
By the way, Jim Tressel is like the university president of Youngstown State, right?
yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Do you ever see...
Him and Bo Pelini are hanging out there having fun.
That's awesome.
Oh, by the way, Fo Pelini is now a writer for The Athletic.
Oh, is he?
Or it's like a joke column like twice a month.
Oh, that's awesome. Is he playing up the faux Pelini
Oh,
character?
yeah, he's still Fo Pelini.
Oh, man. Best part about that was the Mike Sadler thing with him. Didn't they get into a back and forth on...
Yeah, I dare, he like dared him to, after he bombed the punter or whatever, to like pet his cat coming off the field.
he pet his cat coming off the field.
And he did it. Man, I wish Nebraska would have held on to Bo Pelini for no other reason, just for Fo Pelini's Twitter rants.
Well, obviously
They were
things
great.
didn't get any better after they fired
Mike
him.
Riley, he was a turd sandwich.
Jeez.
Hopefully Scott Frost is a little bit better for their sake.
How long did Riley last there? Like
2 years?
seasons?
2, maybe 3?
What does this?
Was it 3?
Disaster
I think
that
it was 3.
Yeah,
hi, we're going to take a coach that's barely above 500 at Oregon State and give him a bigger program.
Do you ever do you see the what is it? The pizza reviews for Barstool?
Yeah. I don't watch them. They come up in my Facebook
They
feed.
come up with mine too, but he did one with Bo Pelini.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He's done a lot with some pretty cool people.
Yeah, Dave Portnoy did one with Bo
Bo
Pelini.
Pelini.
Yeah, and he was wearing a shirt that said Yo State on it. I kind of want to get that shirt. Anyways, anything else, Dorf, with
This?
Yep.
Due process. Wait for the report to come out.
Check the report.
In this case, yes. Check the report.
The NFL, our stupid shit of the week. The NFL is about to fuck something else up.
It's not the NFL. The Hall of Fame is an independent entity.
Okay, well, the Hall of Fame is about ready to force inductees
To attend their ceremony.
to attend their
What are you
ceremony
going to do if they're dead?
after
We're going to pass up enshrining some legend because he's dead.
after Terrell Owens did what he did over the weekend.
Oh,
and-
Terrell Owens, finally called the Hall of Fame out on their shit.
Yeah.
Hi, you kicked me. You spat on me and kicked me my entire career. Why would I come party with you guys? Fuck you. And by the way, he then tried out for the CFL team that owns his rights the day after.
Yeah. I think it was the Rough
Actually,
Riders.
looks really good.
What is he, 44?
44.
Yeah, he still looks like he's in good shape.
Looks like he looks cut.
Yeah. You know what? He's probably going to get a contract.
The CFL team.
He probably will.
Probably gonna hit hip once and break it or something.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
maybe. Whatever. He'll only play for one season, and you know what? He'll probably be, well, he's definitely not going to be a He's definitely not going to be somebody that plays in the nickel and goes up the middle.
He was never an inside guy. He was always an outside receiver.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's damn good at it, too.
Yep.
I don't know, though. What do you think?
Hey,
is this something that the Hall of Fame...
He was the played back when the NFL was fun, before it became the no fun league.
Well, I think he was part of the reason why it became the no fun league.
league.
Yeah. The NFL couldn't handle his...
I mean, the popcorn on that was great. The celebration on the star, that was fun. I mean, it was quite XFL-ish because the Cowboys guys came and tried to run him over or whatever.
The autograph football.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Ocho Cinco that danced with the cheerleaders.
Yeah. Well, the autograph football originally was Joe Horn. He pulled a Sharpie out of his sock.
Oh, was that Joe Horn?
Yeah.
You don't sign a football with a Sharpie. You need to have like a
You
gold...
do a paint pen.
You need a paint pen there, yeah.
God, amateurs.
Gold paint pen.
That was silver was better.
Well, gold for 49ers.
Yeah, fine.
See, Troitman over there, signed with silver. Anyways, I don't know.
We're now gone down the rabbit hole of what do you sign memorabilia. Talk about radio for two.
I was watching Major League 2 the other day, and Wild Thing Vaughn was going to sign a program using a blue Bic pen. I was like, what the hell? You can't sign a program with a blue Bic pen. It's not right. I don't know, Dorf, what do you think? Weak sauce on the Hall of Fame? Or is this something to
I don't know. We should
not get embarrassed?
We should burn them down and start our own with blackjack and hookers.
Wait, with Hall of Fame?
Yes, Hall of Fames in general.
Okay, we'll get to the fan question then. Starting with that.
Okay.
Do when it comes to the Hall of Fame, when it comes to Sports Ball Hall of Fame, should we just do the Sports Ball Hall of Fame?
I don't think we should do Sports Ball Hall of Fame. I think we should just make our own like Pirates Hall of Fames for each individual sport. Like now, Major League Baseball I deem is still redeemable. They've only made a couple mistakes by enshrining guys. They've left some guys out that deserve to be in, but they did it, like that one catcher that was like a career 220 hitter. They did it as kind of a joke. The writers did at the time. This was back in like the 30s, if I remember correctly, because they felt they were all kind of like picking one guy to like give courtesy votes to because they liked him, or whatever. And shit, enough of us voted for him. Oops, he's a Hall of Famer now. Guy hit like 230 his career.
So we're gonna start our own Hall of Fame then? Is that what we're doing?
Football and basketball, sure. Let's call it the Real Halls of Fame.
The Reals Hall of Fame?
The Real, RELHALLZ Halls. It's more than one hallway. It's the halls.
I say we bring in baseball too. What the hell not?
I mean, we can, but let's get the a real football one off the ground first.
Okay. Sounds good to me. But starting with at the top with this though, who should vote players into the various sports Hall of Fame? Players?
Fuck the media.
Isn't there
the fake news media?
Isn't there a bias on every front though? When it comes to this, I mean,
I think the players are a much more objective source.
Okay.
Because you know what? Ultimately, players, they may all be high and mighty until they get there, and then they realize, holy shit, that guy is that much better than me. That guy was the best guy I ever faced. I was scared to go up against that guy. I knew he was going to beat me.
Mm-hmm.
I trust that perspective more out of players more than guys who fall in love with the rhetoric of headlines. I mean, like Jack Morris. Perfect example. Oh, people fell in love. There was a reason he didn't get in for the first 15 ballots. People fell in love with the nostalgia. Oh, he's the best pitcher of the 80s. Doesn't mean he's any good. The basketball of, he was my favorite player on a good team. He's in. Sorry. Well, I mean, Dennis Rodman should not be in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Nice player. Very nice player. Hall of Fame worthy? You're arguing top 10th of 1% level player. Belong in the Hall of Fame in my mind. 0.1% best. Dennis Rodman is not in that.
I think
he was never. I mean, you have to be the best player on your team for a sustained period of time, or another like a guy that would be the best player on anybody else's team. You just happen to luck into another Hall of Famer with you, like Shaq and Kobe. Perfect example. Oh, you guys lucked into a second Hall of Famer with you. These guys independently would have been Hall of Famers too. Come on. A guy like Ray Allen should not be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think Reggie Miller should be either. Just looking at recent history. They're nice players. They're very, very good players. Are they like elite? No. Were they a top 5 player in the entire world at any given time? Or for a sustained period of time? No. Then I don't think they belong.
No, that's fine.
We want to start our own.
I think
that's our criteria. We'll let the players vote, and that's the criteria. They need to be that generational player.
I think you're
Not
right.
Just very good.
I think there's obviously going to be bias, whoever it is you're dealing with, whether it's players. I think you're dealing though with less.
Of being a less biased sample when you have players do it.
I agree because even recent
guys that they played
too,
their peers, not like current players voting for past players in the hall.
Even
guys that
recent,
played against them.
yes. Well, that's the caveat. You got to have that. You got to have current player or peer players voting for whoever it is.
Yeah. Not going to ask Mike Trout to vote on whether or not Barry Bonds is Hall of Fame.
I think in that sense you would have Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
They would have been
players know deep down inside they were all juicing too.
Yeah, they would have had you wouldn't have that problem. I think you take care of that. I think that's a perfect solution when it comes to generational sports. As much as the MLB might want to forget about it,
sorry, it happened, guys.
It happened.
It was the best time in your sports
Yep.
history.
Yep.
Stop trying to hide from it.
Yep. Turn it into something else. You know what? This is something that happened with medical technology. Pharmaceutical technology.
Better performance through better chemistry.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It was available. Yes, it was technically illegal in the eyes of the U.S. government, but everybody was doing it. They were all doing it. It was all on a level field.
Yep.
There was no unfair competition. They all did it.
Yep.
Now, they're all going to suffer the health consequences later in life. It's a choice they made.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice that boxers make every day when they choose to have their brains beaten in for a living.
MMA fighters.
Same thing. Football players.
Hockey players.
Occupational hazard.
Yeah. Comes with the territory.
You're handsomely compensated while you're doing it. Now, does that make it legal in the eyes of U.S. labor law? No. But to act like you're an uninformed victim. Now, the guys back in the, I would say, 80s and earlier in the NFL. Oh, guy's knocked out cold. Give him some smelling salts. Get his ass back in there. Different story.
And what was that drug, too, that we're talking about? It wasn't a performance...
Ephedrine?
Yeah, that they're talking about... They're talking about they're lining up the syringes.
Oh, you're talking about injectable anti-inflammatories. Those are still legal.
Those are still legal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
You're talking injectable anti-inflammatories.
Yeah. The surgical grade ones?
Yeah, the ones that you should have like maybe twice in your life and those guys get weekly. Yeah. It's like murder on your freaking kidneys.
Yeah, because I forgot the former Pittsburgh player stealer. We talked about it too, where he said
we did a show on it. Yeah,
yeah, where they'd line up the syringes with the guy's number on it, and there you go.
Some guys are getting multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyways, though, there's our fan question. Last call tonight. Do you have anything else to close things out with?
Not really. I mean, we've been hour and 20 minutes ish. I think I got everything.
All right.
I mean, honestly, the only topic I want is that one we kind of talked pre-show about the state of the sports blog universe, but that's a whole nother show. We'll do that later if we choose to.
Do you want to?
No, we're
no.
Good.
Okay. Good. All right. Let's see here with me. Oh, we didn't mention this. Maybe we'll use this for last call.
Sure.
Brett McMurphy. Who does he get hired by?
Oh, that's right. We were trying to come on the air. The intro music's rolling. I asked this question.
Who does he get hired by? This will be last call right now.
I'm going to say somebody weird, not a left field. Like, not specifically a sports brand.
I hope not The Athletic.
No.
Okay, good.
No. I'm going to say he's going to end up somewhere like the New York Times or like CNN. Not a sports brand. But he will still work as a sports reporter.
Okay, kind of like what I
Maybe
think,
like Time Magazine.
kinda like a Rachel Nichols, because I think technically she works for.
She works for CNN, Turner,
Yeah. Soon
TBS.
to be AT&T.
Yeah, whatever they are currently / about to become.
Who else does that?
Dan Patrick
Who does he work for now?
himself, and well, he's syndicated by Fox Sports Radio, but doesn't he work for NBC?
I thought he worked. Yeah, I thought he did work for NBC. Well, he does the Sunday Night Football stuff for NBC.
Yeah. But his radio show is on, I believe it's syndicated by Fox.
Because Brett McMurphy got fired by ESPN, right?
He was a cap casualty. He wasn't. It wasn't a performance thing. It was a budget cut.
Dope.
Dope.
Oh, that's
Dude just broke like 3 major stories since he got laid off.
God, that sucks.
Each time it's like a giant double FU to ESPN. Like, you don't need reporters of my ilk. My ass beat you to all these.
God, that sucks though. You know what though? That's what.
No, would be the even funnier story.
What's that?
Is if ESPN had access to the information first, and like ESPN and Fox did, chose to do nothing about it because of their relationship to A, the NCAA, and B, the Big Ten.
Well, that would be.
Both Fox and ESPN have a relationship with the Big Ten.
They do?
Yes, they do.
What's ESPN's relationship?
They have broadcast rights to the Big Ten.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. Fox owns a portion of the network plus has broadcast rights.
I was going to say, because I could see ESPN with the Longhorn Network, and don't they have SEC?
SEC network is their property too.
SEC.
No,
But CBS also has also has rights to.
Who does?
CBS, excuse me.
Has rights to the SEC as well. Yes.
So, I think they do a lot of their big games.
Correct.
Yeah, which I guess would be the same with ESPN / ABC. With
Fox Sports is starting to do a lot more of the Big Ten games.
Are they? Because they're always doing
They put them on FS1 now.
They're always doing the Pac-12 games too, aren't they?
They do have Pac-12. I think it's exclusive relationship with the Pac-12.
Yeah. No, you know what? That another good point to bring up. Who knows?
They have a vested business interest in that not becoming a big thing.
If they sat on it, they killed it like a National Enquirer.
You are fake news.
Anyways.
The
Well,
only problem is there's a paper trail for that one.
yeah, there is. There certainly is. Anyways.
You gotta wonder. I'm just gonna wonder out loud here. You gotta wonder how often that kind of thing happens. In exchange for you buying the exclusive rights to this story for $100,000, I'll dump $200,000 in advertisement into your company. You'll be $100,000 richer right there. Would you do this for a favor for me? Not necessarily how often, like the Donald does that.
Mm-hmm.
How often big and powerful people make that happen. I will shift this much advertisement from my various companies into your way.
If you catch and kill.
If you catch and kill this for me.
It's a good question.
I wonder how often that happens.
National Enquirer kind of sort of did it. Stormy Daniels.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. I mean, they caught and killed her story.
That she broke.
Wait,
the
no.
NDA.
It was the other one, Tara McDougal, I believe it was. They tried to catch and kill.
True.
So, yeah, I'm sure it happens more times than the public certainly knows.
Oh yeah. Well, NDAs are a scary, powerful thing.
Yep. Anyways, that's going to do it this week for the Majors Live. Catch us again next week. Usual time next week, probably 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time here on themajors.net. So for Dorf, Sean up north, I am Adam saying bye for now, everybody.